ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'i wa wala. Brothers, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala says in the Quran, O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and female, and made you into nations and tribes that you may know each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is the most righteous person among you. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in another ayah says, and of His signs is the creation of the heavens and the creation of the earth, and the diversity and the differences of languages and colors. Indeed, that are signs for those of knowledge. And the Prophet ﷺ in a hadith says, O people, your Lord, which is Allah, is one. Your father, which is Adam, is one. There is no superiority of an Arab over a foreigner, nor a foreigner over an Arab. Neither white man, white skin over black skin, nor a black skin over white skin, except by righteousness. These evidences from the Quran and Sunnah. And we have many evidence from Quran and Sunnah. These are all tell us that we are all in the sight of Allah, are one. We are equal in the sight of Allah, because Allah is our creator. So we should not feel that we are superior and others are inferior, regardless of our races, regardless of our abilities, regardless of our wealth, health, anything that we have. We are all same in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That's what Islam teaches us. That's what we have learned in Islam. That there's no place for racism in Islam. It has no place in Islam. No, in anywhere, with any person, at any time. That's what Allah teaches us. That's what we have learned from the actions of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions. And even if we see that there are some individual cases, there are some people that among Muslims, they feel that they are superior, and they feel that others are inferior because of what they have or of what they're born with. These actions, the Islam cannot be judged by their actions, because Islam is what Allah says and what the Prophet ﷺ says. We cannot judge Islam by the actions of some people. But in general, we see that most Muslims, they understand this, because the ayat and the hadith of the Prophet are so clear on this issue. I'm not here to talk about this. Rather, I'm talking about two other points. And the first one is that, you know why I'm talking about racism here. Because of what happened in America, the man who was killed unjustly, who was oppressed. We as Muslims, we support oppressed people, whoever they are, wherever they are and wherever they are. Whoever they are, we are with oppressed people, and Allah supporting oppressed people. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will make them victorious at the end. And that is something for us, is al-badihiyat, is something that's so clear. And we are supporting all the protesters against racism in America or in any other places. But what's a problem here is that these protesters are not just for the sake of humanity at all, to say that there shouldn't be racism anywhere, at any time. They are protesting against racism in one particular place, in just a geographical entity. That's America. So they want to protect American society, that's all. If the man who killed this person, if this man killed an African person in Africa, we wouldn't see all the protests that we are seeing now. We wouldn't see that, because they don't care. That's a double standards. For Muslims, for others, no. But when it comes to them, in the West, in the countries, no, they speak out. They take actions. But when it comes to Muslims, no, the case is totally different. Otherwise, why we don't see protesters, demonstrations, making statements against the systematic discrimination in Myanmar, in China, in India. Muslims have been killed, Muslims have been expelled from their homes, Muslims burned in front of the camera. No one cares about these people. So we can say that, we dare to say that these protesters are some kind of racism against another kind of racism. Otherwise, why we didn't see American people make protesters and take actions and speak out against their soldiers when their soldiers, they killed innocent people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in other places. No one talked about these things as nothing happened. But when it comes to their place, anything happens to them, no. Although, as I said, we said that the man who was killed unjustly. That's for us so clear, so we don't need even to say anything about it. Because we know that the Quran and Sunnah are so clear on this issue. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to give us hidayah. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make us humble. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make us know our positions, who we really are. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات اللهم ارحم موتانا واشف مرضانا وسلم أحياءنا وآمن روعاتنا اللهم انصر المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم انصر المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم انصر المستضعفين في أي دين وفي أي عرق كانوا اللهم انصرهم بنصرك اللهم انتقم من الظالمين الذين يظلمونهم اللهم انتقم منهم اللهم اجعلنا من المتواضعين المصلحين اللهم اجعلنا من المسلمين المتواضعين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر. في الصلاة.